do? Hello, hello, good evening, everybody. How's it going? What was the erg for, man? What was the erg for? What could you possibly have to erg about this late? It's way too late for erging. Oh my. Relax, everybody. Mendacious C. Just lay low. I'll call on you if I need you. Good old Mendacious C from New Zealand. Always ready to serve the ideology. You're gonna sleep? Well, I ain't stopping you from sleeping, bitch. There are bubbles in the lava. I mean, you guys just don't understand what's happening, do you? You don't see the connections here? Paul the Pork Porky. Is the pork really needed if you're going to do Paul Porky? I'm not 100% sure how I feel about that. I think it's kind of unnecessary, TBH. The meanest thing you did as a child. Did some pretty mean things. I mean, I've told the story of that kid in like the 7th and 8th grade that we bullied named Patrick. I told that story on this channel, actually, fucking probably in 2007. Wow. That's crazy. You're just going to start dropping money and wholesome, encouraging comments? I mean, that is a beautiful thing. Thank you, Liam. I'm ready to serve ideology. I was watching shit get destroyed in slow motion, but ideology is more important. Yeah, dude. Yeah. I agree. TJ decided the cat's name is now Dog. Okay. Well, if everybody agrees, then I guess that's the cat's name. I have removed myself from the from the proceedings of naming this little fuzzball. I take a very what's in a name approach. See, that's the problem, dude. That. Remember, my face just illustrated the actual problem, which is every time somebody comes up with a name, there's one person that's just like, nope, nah, nope, that ain't gonna work, etc. So that's why I bowed out of the proceedings, because I was just like, we've got too many strong personalities in this house. Everybody wants to die on the hill of like, this is the cat's name, and it's just like, all right, well, would a rose by any other name smell as sweet? Name it. It'd be kind of hard for people that couldn't do that to call it, though. You know what I mean? Will I ever shop at IKEA again? I can comfortably say no. I can comfortably say that I'm pretty sure I'll never, ever, ever shop at an IKEA again. I'm pretty sure I learned my lesson with that shit. You can get cheap furniture elsewhere, and I'm sure I will in the future need cheap furniture. But whoa. Name it Oreo. Okay. All right, fine. His name is Oreo. Ever consider doing ASMR videos? No. No. I don't even really understand ASMR, to be honest with you. I know some people listen to people whispering into a microphone and it gives them tingles and shit. That's about all I know about it. Name it TJ to piss TJ off. Okay, I'll work on it. TJ's will eat the cat if you name him Oreo. That's a good point. I should probably refrain from naming it Oreo. Name it Miston? Why? Why Miston? You don't get the tingles thing, but you like the sounds. Well, I guess I can understand that. Yeah, I just don't understand the ASMR craze. But to each his own. Call him Good TJ? Okay. That's the best one yet. There's TJ, and then there's the cat Good TJ. I like that. Jude Law plays an incredibly sexy young Dumbledore. Oh, yeah. No, I'll probably see it. I like the Harry Potter movies and shit. I was into South Park for quite some time, but no longer am I into South Park. I just. The last time I tried to watch a South Park movie, or not movie, but show, I just was completely unimpressed. I think the pacing is wrong now. I think they've just kind of lost sight of what made the show good, or maybe have run out of ways to exploit the show, within that paradigm, and have had to step out of it, and it sucks. Why do you think there are a lot more movie sequels now? Lazy writers, or is Hollywood running out of ideas? I mean, I don't think Hollywood's running out of ideas because Hollywood is made up of people. I don't think people have explored every cinematic thing that can possibly be explored. I think that sequels are easy ways to cash in on a franchise that people have liked in the past. And they're probably cheaper to make and less risky to make than new IPs. So that's why you see a lot of sequels. Yeah, Family Guy. I mean, I stopped watching Family Guy way quicker than I stopped watching South Park, though. And the reason I stopped watching Family Guy is that they started doing these big musical numbers that would sometimes last an entire, like, between commercial breaks, right? So you'd go to commercial, you'd come back, and some stupid fucking, like, musical number would start. And it would go on until maybe even the next commercial break. And it was just like, I don't like look, I like musicals and stuff, but I'm not and I don't mind, a little bit of that, but every goddamn show we've got one of the cast doing some stupid fucking Broadway style musical number. It just got old. It got super duper old. Yeah, the jokes started to get unfunny. Like once again, the early episodes of Family Guy had this really acerbic sense of humor. Just like really tight skit based jokes, really weird tangential jokes. And then they just started kind of making safer jokes that were within the realm of reality of whatever that show was. Yeah, take it away, Conway Twitty. It's like, okay, get out of here. I mean, like I said, some of the musical numbers were okay, but they started relying on it way too heavily to fill time and episodes and stuff, and it really showed, in my opinion. Wonder if there are any modern movies that will be remade over and over again 10 to 20 years from now. I mean, I'm sure, like, look, as a somebody who was born in the 80s and grew up in the 80s and 90s, there is a large contingent of Hollywood and the TV industry and the music industry that's trying to get my nostalgia dollar. And when you get older, the same shit will happen to you. You'll start to see stuff from your younger years popping up in movies. I mean, look at that. Like, look at the popularity of a movie like Stranger Things, or a show like Stranger Things, set in the '80s, very much like an '80s kid gang comedy, like The Goonies was. Very reminiscent of that. So, when you guys get older like I am, you'll notice that they start to pander to you as well, and that those things all run in cycles. So, popular movies now, 10 to 20 years from now, people will be remaking them, trying to cash in on that nostalgia dollar. American Dad or The Cleveland Show, no and no. Neither of the spin-offs of Family Guy landed for me. I guess American Dad's not technically a spin-off of Family Guy, but it feels like one. Yeah, Ready Player One or Enter Player One or whatever that is a good example too. Yeah, I mean that's just a giant like, hey, look, 80s and 90s, us too. It's like, okay, thanks movie. I mean, I really do hope that they don't allow remakes that of like Kubrick films. Like I hope they don't like remake Full Metal Jacket. I mean, I guess The Shining could be remade because it was, at least Kubrick's was loosely based on on Stephen King's novel. So I could see them rebooting that, but you can't remake like Full Metal Jacket or Doctor Strangelove or Clockwork Orange, man. That would be a sad state of affairs. I guess Clockwork Orange too, based on the Anthony Burgess novel, so I just hope that people are smart enough to know that, Kubrick did it the best and it doesn't need to be done again. Yeah, people seem to be really infatuated with the first quarter of Full Metal Jacket. I've heard a lot of people say that it's the only thing that they like watching in Full Metal Jacket, and that the rest of the movie is boring. I couldn't disagree more, but it certainly does have one of the best opening quarters of any film ever. I mean, the boot camp sequence is just, it's riveting, and the fact that it's only one part of the film is just pretty awesome. Well, see, El Mariachi, but your assumption there is that these companies, movie production companies, are remaking these films because they want to perfect them. That is not the case. They're remaking these films because they want to ring the cash register on them again. So the fact that Stanley Kubrick was an insane perfectionist and created these absolute masterworks of cinema, it doesn't really factor into their decision making. It's like, well, can we make money making 2001 A Space Odyssey 2? If the answer to that question is a speculative yes, then they're doing it. Do you think anyone could pull off an Apocalypse Now remake today? I mean, it's another one of those movies that I don't know. I really think should not be touched. 2001 A Based Oddity. Oh God. Just because the content back then was so good in our eyes that it's way more profitable to remake it than to risk trying something new. Why try the mystery bag lunch when I know I like bologna? Yeah. I mean, that's a good point too. But I mean, somebody out there has got to keep making the mystery bag lunch because I can't stand remakes. I got to be honest with you. I just can't fucking hang with them. They're almost never needed. They're almost never good. Like reinterpretations of another work, that's different. So if they remake Dune, in fact, I hope they do. I won't think that they're stepping on David Lynch's toes. But, like if they remake The Big Lebowski or some shit, that'll be the day that I just eat a bullet. If I'm not already dead, you guys, like in the future, whatever happens with this YouTubery, just know that if I'm still alive and there's a Big Lebowski reboot or Big Lebowski 2 or some bullshit, just know that that's the day that trailer drops is the day that Paul's ego ate a bullet. Make the director eat a bullet. Well, I'm not a CIA assassin, dude. I can't pull that type of shit off. How would you react to a Silence of the Lambs remake with T.J. Miller and Amy Schumer? Oh God, dude, T.J. Miller as fucking Hannibal and Amy Schumer as Agent Clarice Starling. Oh my God, that's like the nightmare, right? Ugh, I can't even tell you how how much my stomach turns at the thought of that. Good morning, Ecliptic Gamer. Thank you for the thank you for the $50, man. I really appreciate that. Someone remakes The Big Lebowski, and it's going to be a murder slash suicide for me. Yeah, well, I mean, I'll just leave the murder on the table and just eat the bullet. But yeah, I mean, like, people can't fucking, I don't know, they just don't understand. Dude, there's no way I could not murder you. Couldn't bring myself to do it. Sorry, too soft. Tom Hardy is Venom, a villain standalone. Thoughts, please. I mean, good casting choice. Tom Hardy is a really talented actor, and I think could probably step into that role. Is it Max Cady that becomes Venom, or is that Carnage, or is that not even the name of one of these dudes? Whoa, kitty! I'm not wearing pants, so you can't climb me. I got shorts on, kitty. Paul, death rides a bike deep in the forest. Remember that. Always remember that. Okay. Yes, I've been to Haight Ashbury. I've been all over San Francisco. Spent a lot of time there. You could direct a movie of your favorite book. Who would you cast and what parts? You know what, dude? To answer that question, I'm going to have to refer to an old Tumblr post of mine. So just give me a second and I'll pull it up because I have an answer to that question. And I actually went through and casted a film the way that I would want it casted. Get down. Let's see. How does one become a mod? Well, one hangs around the stream, one gets noticed by Paul as an even handed person, and one gets promoted to mod. That's exactly how it happens. Or one dates Paul and is awesome. That's how it happens too. Yeah, I guess it was a while ago, so it might take me a second to find this shit, but we'll go through it. Rank the Spider-Man movies. I mean, I honestly, in terms of like enjoyment, I would say that Homecoming was the one that I enjoyed the most. So I guess it would be at the top. How you rank the ones after that, I guess, is up to you. Ashley C., you can get Paul to cosplay at the next anime convention you take him to. You could do couples cosplay. Oh, God, no. Please, no. Dude, we could cosplay the manatee in Dorn. See if anybody gets it. Nobody would probably get it, but it would still be fun. I searched this. Probably would have helped. Okay. So, the answer to that question earlier, if I could remake a movie, which one would I do? It would be Dune. And the major roles are as such Paul Atreides, so that's the lead role, Paul Muad'Dib. Um, I would put Leonardo DiCaprio or Tom Hardy. So once again, this post was a couple of years ago, and I was still harping on Tom Hardy. Um, yeah, kind of torn on which one of those I think would do a better job. I think they both would do the role justice, honestly. For Lady Jessica Atreides, that's Paul Atreides' mom. I said Naomi Watts. I think that she has that kind of like alien beauty that's needed. Thufir Hawat, which is the Mentat that serves the Atreides family. I put Paul Giamatti in that role because I love Paul Giamatti and I think he'd be awesome. For Duke Leto Atreides, it's Paul Atreides' dad. The guy that played that role in the original Dune, the David Lynch Dune, Jurgen Prochnow, is still alive, still looks awesome. I don't really see a reason not to let him reprise that role. For Chani, who is Paul Atreides' Fremen girlfriend, I put Scarlett Johansson in that role. Um, let's see. For Fade, that's the Sting role in the original David Lynch Dune. I kind of floated the idea of Russell Brand, Sacha Baron Cohen, or Jude Law. I think whoever plays that role has to have that kind of like rock star swagger. So I'd want to talk to these kind of unconventional actors. For Duncan, Idaho, which is Paul Atreides' friend, I put Timothy Olyphant. who I think would be awesome in that role. And for Peter DeVries, who is the mentat that serves um, the Harkonnen family, I put Brad Dourif, who I think is an awesome character actor. So there's that. There is that for sure. As far as like who would play Baron Harkonnen, I don't know. Paul, if you could have an empty book that kills any person on the planet within 1 minute after writing, like if I could have a death note, is that what you're asking me? I really hate that Death Note exists because people always pose that, question, that hypothetical to people, and it's just like, oh, I don't care. Remember, Paul, if people complain about you being salty about remakes, that salt adds some flavor when you add some peeper to it. Stay salty, my friend. Well, thank you, Liam. I guess. I mean, Michael Keaton was great as the Vulture. I think he is in the top tier of Marvel Cinematic Universe villains in that role. And he's not even really, I guess, I guess Homecoming is a Marvel film, so. If you had a Death Note, would you make your writing really tiny? Yeah, dude. I would learn to write super small so that I never ran out of room in the Death Note. You know what I mean? Like there would be just no way that I could ever not have a little skosh of room to add another name. I'd fill a sweatshop full of Death Notes and birth records and start working on killing all 7 billion humans. I mean, I don't know, dude. I don't think you could write 7 billion names in a book that you could carry around. Wasn't the Death Note made up of infinite pages though? Oh, was it? I don't know. I'm not real. I've seen the anime, but that was years and years and years ago. Ruby Rose like the lesbian. What? What? Oh, Ashley's having somebody like Ashley's a weeaboo magnet, dude. When she's up in here, you can almost guarantee that somebody is going to like get her talking about like Hokato no Bunraku or some shit. Ashley, what do you think of Hokatu no Bunraku? And she's like, I don't really like it as much as Urutsuku Doji. Do a DFF on the law of attraction. That might be interesting. The gift. Anime equals 100% cringy, autistic cartoons. Wow, dude, that was harsh. You need to take it back. Take it back right now. I've never seen Evangelion. I've been told by multiple people who I consider to be pretty smart to watch Evangelion, but I've never done it. Ashley might have seen Evangelion. Ching Chong da Ding Dong. Oh man. Yeah, Scotty is actually one of the people that's tried to get me to watch it. He even said I could borrow it from him. I guess he's got the Blu-ray set or whatever. But yeah, I'll probably try and check it out. Well, it's official. My relationship is over. Not sure if I'll find someone again. Well, I mean, everybody feels like that right after a relationship ends, dude. Everybody's like, dude, this is it, man. She would have won, man. I'm going to be lonesome for the rest of my life. Yeah, everybody feels that way after a breakup. You know what you need? You know what you need? You need to get some strange, my friend. That's right. You need to pull you. I know it just does not. It does not sound like something that you even want to do right now. You just want to lay around being sad. But I'm telling you, man, get some strange. Get out there. Go to a bar. Find a 5 of 10. Get drunk enough that she's a 9 of 10. Take her home. Get some strange. You'll feel better. How do you get laid if all you're good at is programming and watching TV shows? I mean, pick up the art of conversation. That helps. Failing that, save some of that programming money. Get yourself a ticket to Reno, Nevada, and go to a brothel and fuck your way through the entire brothel. That's an option too. Paul, you're J.J. Abrams, and you can see your peen standing up. Your task is to complete the trilogy. How do you go about it? How does it end? Do you redcon Luke's death? You can. Okay. So I've got to end this. I mean, like, dude, I wouldn't even want to take that. I would not want to take that role. I wouldn't want to be in the position of having to finish this arc of Star Wars because I really do not like this arc. I don't like the direction it's going in. But let's just say that somebody offered me some absurd amount of money because J.J. Abrams couldn't do it. And they're like, you know what? Failing J.J. Abrams, we got to get that Paul's ego. And so they're like, look, dude, you got to write and conceive and direct this next movie. And be like, okay, here's what we do. Number one, Rey is going to be the villain in this final film. She's going to fall to the dark side in the first 15 or 20 minutes of the film. And, it's going to be like an acceleration of the arc that I wanted to see them take. Yeah, it's retcon, not redcon. I just read what he said. But, Rey has got to become the evil one. She's way too powerful. She's way too unrestrained. And you can just see the regret in fucking Kylo Ren's actions and shit. So it's clear that they're insinuating there's a struggle. But I want to see that shit reversed. I want to see Rey fall to the dark side, immediately subjugate Kylo Ren and, take over his position. And maybe shows him just how far he's fallen by being even worse than he is in every way. And he teams up with what's his name? The black dude. He teams up with him. The Asian girlfriend is now dead. She died in some tragic fight that we don't get to see off camera in between 2 and 3. T'Challa. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, T'Challa. Hey, Paul, I remember you said you had an addiction to Klonopin. I was just wondering, did you ever nod off and do or think something crazy? I used to take Klonopin, and I would get really delusional. Yeah, I was on relatively high dose Klonopin as a daily thing for quite some time, for a few years, and it is a strange drug, let me just say. Jehovah's Witnesses. Yeah, that would be kind of fun. Kind of fun to take a look at the Jehovah's and the Mormons. The Mormons would make a good one too. Maybe a double feature, dude. A kooky religious offshoot double feature. The Jehovah's and the Mormons get deep fat fried. I think we could do it. DFF pickup artists. Yeah, that like kind of like red pill slash pickup artist culture. That would be an interesting one to take a look at. Are you a fan of the current Marvel films? I hadn't seen any of them until this year, and have been really surprised by their quality. Yeah, especially the earlier ones, like the first couple Avengers and um, some of the offshoots of that. I think were really quality. It's kind of worn out its welcome for me now, but they're wrapping it up in one or two more movies, so. I like Code Geass because I'm British and there's lots of Hail Britannia stuff. Rule Britannia, Britannia rules the waves. Britannia ever, ever, ever will be saved. What a terrible song. Is that you guys' national anthem? Or do you have another national anthem? Rule Britannia is your national anthem, right? I mean, your fucking national anthem isn't even true anymore. Like, you don't even rule the waves anymore. Like, at one point, is it God Save the Queen? Or is it Rule Britannia? Oh, it's God Save the Queen. That's even worse. What happens when the Queen dies and you guys have a king? Does it become God Save the King then? Or is it written specifically for a queen? I guess you guys would just switch it, right? So if Elizabeth dies and you guys get uh, King Charles, then it would be your whole fucking national anthem would change, right? To God Save the King. Oh, really? So Elizabeth is so well loved that you think that even if she passes, that God Save the Queen will. Man, that's gotta feel bad. That's gotta feel bad, man. To be the king, and they're like, nah, we liked the queen that preceded you way too much, so we're just gonna keep singing to her. Sorry. Be like, wait a minute though. I'm the fucking king. Yeah, what happens when you guys get your first non-binary monarch? You know what I mean? Certainly, one of Charles's heirs apparent is going to be that, right? God save the they. God saves them. Yeah. DFF Dangerous Cities. That would be an interesting angle. And, we could even maybe do like the most dangerous cities worldwide and try and like take a virtual tour of the most dangerous cities on the planet. That'd be kind of fun. I definitely like that kind of content. Good morning from the East Coast. Well, good evening from Central Standard Time, my friend. The Southern Coast. DFF gingers, yeah. That would, like as silly as that sounds, that would actually probably be a pretty funny episode. You guys have got good ideas. Got to be honest with you, man. This night crew is pretty on point. It's not as much of you as there are sometimes, but man, we got a stacked quality up in here. I mean, there's weeaboos are a little overrepresented. I'm seeing a lot of anime avatars passing by over here, but you set that aside, you guys are all right. We the best, man. You drew your avatar. I think a lot of the weeaboos in here probably drew their avatars, dude. I know Ashley drew hers, I think. In fact, I know she did. Go to the third world and do a crappy vlog. Okay, I'll do that. The crappiest vlog ever from the shittiest third world shithole ever. Like we'd have to do Monrovia, right? In Liberia. Like we'd have to do. Oh man, you got me thinking about the dangerous cities DFF. Even though we haven't even decided to do it. It's a good idea. Because you could look at famous things that have happened in that city too. We could look at some of the history of the city, what the city used to be, kind of try and find out what the story of that city's decline is. Because most cities in America, if we do like a dangerous American cities one, most cities in America didn't start that way. Well, I guess maybe they started that way in the pioneering days, but they weren't conceived of as shitholes. They became them. TJ and the boy? Is Scotty the boy? Anyway, DFF Dark Places of the Ocean? What do you mean? The Bermuda Triangle and the Marianas Trench? Colombia because of Pablo Escobar. Pablo. Papa Pablo. Stream some Fallout 1 or 2 gameplay or Planescape. I think people would like to see your playthrough of these classics. Maybe. I don't know, dude. Pablo Escobar. I watched season 1 of Narcos and it was really good, and then season 2 sucked because Pablo Escobar dies at the end of season 1, and they try and keep it going with this new crime family, and it's just like, nope. I watched one episode of it and I was like, nope. No Pablo Escobar, no Paul's ego. Thanks for the one season though. I really would recommend the first season of Narcos on Netflix though if you haven't seen it. It's a rare TV show that I got into. Did you like the show House? Not really. Not really. But that doesn't mean it was a bad show. I don't really get into TV shows all that often. DFF cryptozoology or alien conspiracies. Those would be pretty good. Yeah, the Bermuda Triangle could be DFF'd, probably just as a subject on its own. Yeah, I don't know. I saw a couple episodes of House, and I guess I liked the main character, but not really the show. Who wins a major war, xenomorphs or arachnids, the Starship Trooper aliens? I mean, I don't know, right? Like, it depends. Do they have equal numbers at the start and an equal foothold on the planet that they're going to fight on and shit? Or is one invading the other? I mean, there's too many variables, bro. DFF aliens. Yeah, it would be kind of, alien conspiracies or, just like the weird alien conspiracy theories, I think, in general. There's quite a few of them. And, alleging things like, there was a UFO crash out in the middle of the Nevada desert and Area 51 is housing UFOs and all this other crazy nonsense. Hey, Paul, would you like a movie of kaijus, Godzilla and the like, versus a huge army of xenomorphs? Like watching Mothra get torn the fuck apart and Gigan using his chest saw to shred a ton of them. I mean, it would be kind of cool, wouldn't it? I mean, maybe not xenomorphs, but like kaijus versus some other kind of monsters would be kind of cool to see. Like this giant swarm of smaller monsters of various kinds versus a bunch of different kaijus. Oh yeah, Coast to Coast FM, dude. I used to listen to them all the time, super late at night. I'd sit in my car and just tune into Art Bell on Coast to Coast. I think George Norrie's doing it now. I haven't listened in a while, but kind of makes me want to. I love Coast to Coast FM. Review Burn After Reading. It's a Cohen classic, but very under the radar. It's worth the time. Yeah, I've seen it. It's a good movie. I don't know. It's not one of my favorite Cohen brothers movies. I wasn't a huge fan of it, honestly. I mean, it's not a bad movie, but I mean, Godzilla is known to have tons of movies where he's kind of minorly reinvented. So it wouldn't even really be a Godzilla remake, you know? Just another interpretation of Godzilla. I'm fine with him making tons of those movies. The 1988 NES Godzilla game has a surprisingly good soundtrack. Okay. I remember the game being a frustrating mess. Mm-mm. Dude, I love this like 8-bit shit. I love it. I love it. DFF, DFF. Yeah, man. Let's do it. Let's do it right now. Someone made a creepy pasta of, yeah, I think I've read it, honestly. I hate those. I mean, like, I guess I don't hate them because I keep falling into the trap of reading them because they're so ridiculous. But those stupid video game pastas, man. DFF camping. We'd have to go camping though. Like that's something that I've had the idea for in the past. Is like, if we go somewhere and do something that's out of character, we could DFF that. You know what I mean? So whether it's like going to the gym, or going on a camping trip where we pack out and go out into the wilderness and see how well the three of us can survive and film some of it for footage. I mean, how cool would that be? How funny would it be to have me, Scotty, and TJ stroll out into the fucking woods somewhere with backpacks on, with all the shit, our tents and everything that we thought we'd need to get through a couple nights, and stayed out in the fucking wilderness for 2 nights and filmed some of it. Dude, how epic would the fucking screaming matches be between the three of us, dude? I think it would devolve into screaming before we even found a place to set up camp. A bear would eat you? Yeah. I mean, that would be pretty funny. Oh, I know, dude. Like a camping trip, or like a deep, like I thought we could do like maybe a deep sea fishing trip too. Like those charter deep sea fishing trips. We could just save up and get on one of those and do, DFF fishing and have a bunch of footage and then have the experience to riff on. Might be kind of fun. An RV trip, yeah, around the moon. Paul setting them up, moving in for the kill. Oh, dude, wouldn't it be funny if like TJ parasailed? Tell me that wouldn't be the greatest, with like a GoPro pointed at his face. One of those GoPro helmets that, has rigging on it. Like, tell me that wouldn't be awesome. Yeah, dude, that would actually be kind of interesting too. We could do DFF church, and we could go to one of these churches around here that's like, all are welcome, sermons on Sunday or whatever the fuck. And we could go and we could sit in on a sermon and participate in the church and see what we like. Might be interesting. Well, I need to go get something to drink. So stay tuned. I'll be right back. Don't fret. We're just getting started, so. Here we be, here we be. Dude, I just had the creepiest thought. I gotta share this thought with you guys because it creeped me the fuck out. So I'm leaving this room, where my studio and shit is at. And when all the lights are off, it is dead pitch black in the hallway right outside this room. And I have to close the door behind me because Squeaks is in here. So I end up having to grope my way in total darkness to try and find the wall across from this room that has the light on it, right? The light switch, so that I can see to get downstairs. And I had this thought because I'm totally blind, right? I'm like when I walk out there and close the door behind me, it's totally pitch black. My eyes haven't had time to adjust enough to see anything. And I just kind of put both my hands out in front of me and walk slowly towards the wall that I know that the light switch is on. And I had this thought while I was doing that. Like, what if one night when you're doing this, you're groping around for that wall in the total darkness and the total silence, and like your hands just land right on like a wet face, like a wet human face, like somebody's just standing there in the darkness, and for some reason they're wet. And I was like, no, dude, no. Like, yeah, that's scary, but think about having that thought while you're halfway to the wall with the light switch on it. I was like, oh my God, no. No. Please, no. Oh, Squeaks, what's up, man? You're a sweet little kitty. Oh, buddy. What's the matter? Give me kisses. Give me kisses. Oh, what a sweet boy. Oh, Squeaks. What if they touch you first? What if it's Harvey Weinstein? Yeah. What if Harvey Weinstein's just standing naked and wet in the dark right outside my bedroom, just waiting for me to grope my way to the wall to turn the light on? What, Squeaks? What's the matter, baby boy? Oh, boy. What was that? You just reached up and put your hand in my eye. What a sweet boy. Squeaks likes to snuggle into my beard. Huh. You like the beard? You like the beard, Squeaks? He thinks you're him, Mom. Oh, yes. Yes. The bearded one is him, Mom. Oh, Squeaks. He's a yeah, dude. He's totally a cuddly cat. What? What's wrong? He's such an angry little thing. He's such an angry little thing. What if when you close the door it vanished? You grope desperately for it, but nothing is there. Oh, yeah. See, that would be a scary thought, too. Because I'm in total darkness, totally blind, like, that would be a good basis for a creepypasta, too. You know, groping for that wall and walking and thinking, man, surely I've reached the wall by now, but maybe it's just a little further. And scooching forward a little further and not feeling the wall and then going, okay, something's wrong. I'm just going to go back. And turning around and groping for the door and not finding it, you know? Oh, man. Holy shit. You've just walked into like some kind of limbo where there's just nothing but the endless void. Yeah, and nobody ever knows what happened to me either. It'll just be like I disappeared. You know, be like a big mystery. And I'll be just wandering around looking desperately for the light switch for eternity. Paul, do you prefer New York's Art Deco skyline of the 40s or the one of today? Why are you like, I think you were here earlier asking about Art Deco and Art Deco buildings. And is that like your fetish? Are you like Thursday Lane with smelling farts, but instead of smelling farts, you like Art Deco? There's no reason to own female pets. Get out of here, director, you stupid shit. Paul, DFF the dark web and the contents of what's in it. Shit is disturbing, but it's very interesting. I mean, like, I'm kind of aware of the dark web. I know the stories, dude. I know the memes. I don't know. I don't know if that's a DFF. Yeah, people that cast out the demons. Stop kink shaming. I wasn't kink shaming anybody, dude. Slowly, even the floor just vanishes, and you begin to forget your memories. Yeah, dude. Until all you know is the void, looking for something that you can't remember. Yeah, you're just a spirit floating around the void with no memory of why. Just knowing that you were looking for something desperately. Director is annoying. Yeah, yeah. Director is annoying. I think he tries like to carry out this type of shit on Twitter as well. I'm pretty sure I've seen director in my mentions and shit typing out long screeds about how I'm a retard because I said this or that on one of the shows I've been on. I'm pretty sure it's the same dude. Waking up is awful. I hate my life. Damn, dude. That's not a good way to start the day, bro. You got to think sunshine and lollipops in the morning, even if you don't believe it. Because you start the day with that kind of fucking shit, you're just setting yourself up for a terrible day. It's like you're telling yourself, like, yep, I'm just committed to this being the shittiest fucking day ever. Well, like yeah, Byron, let me just say that it's been discussed and good idea. I won't go any further than that. When are we going to get Paul, TJ, and Scotty glamour shots? I mean, we got to get down to the mall and get our makeup done and pick out some pretty dresses and stuff. And that takes time. Whoa, whoa, excuse me. At this point, you have like 400 DFF suggestions. Better get to it. Yeah. I mean, a lot of these suggestions that are coming up are on our list of possibilities already, in some form at least. But a lot of them are really good and unique, and I'll add them. Ouch. Oh, kitty, please no. DFF the fast food industry. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. We could go and get a fast food. It'd be a good way to get me and TJ to do the episode too, because we got to eat a bunch of fast food for it. Like we'd go get fast food meals from each one of the fast food restaurants around and rate them. You know what I mean? Like we could film us eating them and talking about how they were after we're done eating them, and then kind of use that as part of the DFF. Do a stream inside a McDonald's. I mean, we probably won't do a stream inside of one, but we could film some stuff inside of one. Boogie was on the official podcast. You and TJ should go on sometime. Be a good match. What? Is that really like. Is that a troll that just totally flew over my head and just was a confusing fucking bunch of nonsense? Get out of here, troll. Shoo. Shoo. Get out of here, you. Paul, do you think that memes are going to stick around and just become a thing now? Yes. Get used to the memes. Get used to the memes because they are going nowhere. You want Chinese food now? Yeah. Why isn't there a Waffle House but for Chinese, We need to start thinking about shit. Like, dude, that's $1 billion idea right there. A chain of restaurants built like Waffle Houses, in that everything on the menu is made easily and efficiently right there in front of everybody. It's 24-hour diner style. Oh, dude, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Isn't that just Yum Cha? Yeah, but we don't have Yum Cha around here, dude. Noodle House, yeah. What is this comment, dude? We need every fast food chain in a giant 30-story mansion. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Like, if I was ultra rich, dude, maybe I'd just have a wing of my compound be dedicated to, like, they would be like because like I've heard like rich people have a Starbucks in their house. Like I've heard that before. Like rich people will pay Starbucks and pay like a barista to come to their house and make them Starbucks coffee every morning and shit. And it's just like, not a licensed Starbucks, but yeah, dude. Richie Rich had a McD's, but I want to have like a whole little food court in my place with rotating restaurants in it. So if some of them, I might keep Mickey D's around forever, but like some of them, if I get sick of Taco Bell or something, I'm like, you know what? Call the Del Taco people. I want this to be a Del Taco for a few months. Dude, with unlimited money, I would be a problem. No fucking way someone has a Starbucks in their house. Let's Google it. Let's just Google it, right? I'm pretty sure that I heard that what's his name? The drummer from fucking Motley Crue. I'm pretty sure I heard he has one. Let's see. So here's a story on people.com where Tyrese Gibson has a Starbucks and a Benihana in his backyard. And yes, I was right. Motley Crue drummer Tommy Lee has a Starbucks in his house. Let's see if I can find something about it. Yeah. Tommy Lee had a Jägermeister tap installed in the bar at his house, as well as an official Starbucks coffee machine, and they were put in by the respective companies. So there you go. Some rich people have subways in their houses. Why would a rich person want a subway in their house, dude? No. I could afford a bar to be installed in my house, but I would just drink it dry the moment I got it. Okay. Why would a rich person want a Starbucks unless they wanted diabetes in 6 weeks? I mean, I'm pretty sure Tommy Lee's fine. He seems to be in pretty good shape, even though he has a Starbucks in the morning. I think he's doing just fine. Subway equals processed garbage and air. I mean, that's pretty much not true. I got to be honest with you. Like, Subway is probably some of the least processed food that you can get on the fast food market. Like, they probably got a lot of stuff that is processed, but it's got a lot of their stuff is just deli meat, fresh vegetables, and bread that they bake right there, which, you know, I mean, there's definitely some unhealthy stuff at Subway. Don't get me wrong. Deli meat is processed, like sliced ham. That's processed, or sliced turkey breast. That's processed. Like, I guess, like, what, the process of raising it. Yeah, the bread, I mean, whatever. The bread is probably garbage. But yeah, lots of healthy vegetables there, lots of fresh stuff. You can get like a veggie sub that's pretty good. I mean, like, you can't knock Subway as some processed garbage place when there's like Newcastle and fucking McDonald's out there. You're from the UK. I think we have a different idea of processed. Oh, yeah, that's fine. I mean, like for us, like for me, like processed would mean that you took some kind of food and you made it into some other form by adding a bunch of chemicals and nonsense to it. You know what I mean? So like tinned potted meat or whatever the fuck would be processed food, or the hamburgers at McDonald's would be processed food because it's not just ground beef, it's ground beef mixed with a bunch of other filler content and all this other shit. But, if you just got a big like roasted cured turkey breast or some shit and you're taking slices off of it, that's not considered processed here. Velveeta cheese, yeah, another good example. Or just American cheese in general, just a yellow, sliced cheese. You're telling me the McRib isn't made of real ribs? I mean, it might be made of like connective meat that's around real ribs that will be sold. So it may have come off of the area that's around the rib of the animal, but I wouldn't call it ribs if I were you. No, I'm not knocking processed cheese, dude. I mean, Velveeta is one of God's greatest creations. I mean, you want a processed meal that's amazing? Here's what you do. Okay? You go to the store, you buy a couple cans of chili, right? Like Hormel chili or whatever the fuck you want. You buy a block of Velveeta cheese, and you buy some good fresh salsa from the section, right? Take that shit home. You throw it all in a bowl together. You mix it up. You put it in the microwave, right? And you just melt it. Keep taking it out. Keep stirring it till it's all mixed. Then you got a bag of fucking Fritos scoops. You know what I mean? The larger Fritos. And tell me that ain't the best shit. Tell me that ain't the best processed shit, dude. It's just like a pile of cheesy, chili goodness. Why can't deli meat be processed according to your definition? Why can't deli meat? Well, I mean, I guess it could be, but if it is just a whole part of the animal, like a ham hock, or a fucking turkey breast that's been just kind of cooked and cured whole, I don't really see how it could be processed. That's what I'm saying. Like bologna is clearly processed meat, right? Because it's got a bunch of filler and it's made from other parts that are ground up in a You know what I mean? I'm just talking about like like the roast beef and the fucking the turkey breast and shit. What's your opinion on Steven Crowder? I've been watching some of his videos and been agreeing with him. Good slash bad. Uh, what I've seen of Steven Crowder has not impressed me. So, I mean, good luck with that, I guess. Steven Crowder, yeah, not so much, dude. Didn't he recently host Blair White and some other feminist chick or some feminist chick, and they just argued about a Twitter argument that they had for fucking the whole thing. He just, you know, sat there, or was no, that was Dave Rubin that did that. Never mind. I'm getting my fucking pseudo right wing retards mixed up. Yeah, that is Dave Rubin. I'm gonna try an Oreo ice cream sandwich drenched with hot fudge, caramel, whipped cream. Okay, well, have fun with that, man. Yeah, Steven Crowder is the dude that like started that fight, right? And then tried to sue TJ. Posted some bullshit like 10-second clip of some dude at a union rally hitting him. But didn't show what led up to that. Yeah, so he pushed a union. Yeah. And then TJ made a video about it back in the day, and he threatened to sue TJ for defamation. You have to check ingredients, not to rely on what it's called. A lot of deli meats can and are fucked with to change their physical attributes. Sure. Look, dude, whatever, man. All right, fine. Yeah, it's all processed. Nothing. You're right. The vegetables are all Franken vegetables too. Like if you go in there and get a salad or some vegetables, which is a big part of their business. Yeah, you're right. It's all processed garbage. Next, I'm just tired of fucking. I'm tired of arguing about it. Like you're right. You cut it. If you cut a fucking turkey breast off of a turkey and you roast it and cure it and package it and ship it out to a store, it's processed, I guess. He's a troll. I mean, I know. I respond to trolls here. If you leave it on its own long enough, it'll crawl away. Yeah. Paul, they pump the meat full of MSG. I mean, okay. I don't know if that's true or not. Hey, Paulie P, can you Google 40 Wall Street and give me your detailed opinion? Okay. Oh, you're the skyscraper dude. Yeah. This is a Trump building. A 71-story neo-Gothic skyscraper. My detailed opinion is it looks like a pretty fucking standard-looking skyscraper. Save the kind of copper top part of it, I guess. I don't know if it's copper up there or what it is, but the metal kind of pointed roof distinguishes it. I don't know. I mean, go take your fucking building fetish elsewhere. Like, please. Like, I don't begrudge you having it, but go take your skyscraper fetish somewhere else, please. Talk about cryptocurrencies. It's everyone's. Okay, yeah, I'll do that. Holy shit, dude. The Tism Brigade has made their way into the chat. I don't know how it happened, but look at this chat, dude. 20 minutes ago, I was extolling the virtues of this chat, and now, like, just look at it. Oh, man. Like I've been embroiled in a ridiculous conversation about processed deli meats for like half an hour now. and it's mostly because the chat is just like yeah. It's just like, man, we can't really riff on that, so I guess I'll just have this deli meat argument. This show is absurd. Thank you, Chase and Tom. Yeah. Oh man. What's your favorite classic Disney movie? Personally, I love Fantasia. Um, we're talking like Fantasia's pretty good. Um, I don't know. I like Pinocchio a lot. I'd probably go with Pinocchio, honestly. I beat my deli meat before I eat it. Oh my god, dude, look at this. Look at this shit. Cleanse this chat, lava, please. Ooze your molten goodness onto this chat that they might be cleansed of this tism. Yeah, dude, the trolls are pretty crazy tonight, man. There's like a deli meat revolution happening in the chat. Oh my god. All right, man. It's all right. I don't like I said, I'm not poking fun at your building fetish. I can't talk about art deco gothic skyscrapers all night. I just can't do it, dude. I don't know anything about them. I don't care about them. The chat's tism is insatiable. I mean, sometimes. Maybe what the chat needs is some bubble therapy. Give them a little bubble therapy for a while. Maybe that'll chill everybody out. Look, some more processed deli meat. Give me 1 second. I have to take a leak. I'll leave the bacon sizzling. I'll be back. Okay. Man, I fucking love this track. Holy shit. Glitch Hop is awesome. I'm just getting into it. Anywho. Kinda gay? Oh, well, fuck you, dude. You're a piece of shit, Ludwig. You're a total fucking piece of shit, Ludwig. I like some EDM, yeah. Um, oh, hi, Mark. That music, I feel like Liam Neeson is cooking that bacon. Yeah. Well, maybe he is. Ever listen to Flying Lotus? No, I have not. You should do something with gaming. Play games you don't normally play for the sake of entertainment. Here's the problem with that, and I'll explain it to you in a second after I answer this super chat here. Ecliptic Gamer says, I'm just worried that my political views are swaying too much. I keep swaying on the political spectrum, and that troubles me. Don't let that trouble you. That's a natural part of growing up and a natural part of developing a political center for yourself. It's probably a good sign that you are open to challenging your ideas and stuff. So I wouldn't look at it as a negative. As far as like playing the games, here's the problem with that, okay? I stream a lot. I do a lot of content for people, in front of people, often live. Um, and gaming is really one of the only environments where I can go and chill and have some peace and quiet and not have to worry about running my mouth like a fucking crazy person constantly. You know what I mean? I like doing this. Obviously, it serves some need in me to sit and talk for a while, but I also really kind of value my personal time, and video games are a great way for me to turn my brain off for a little bit and escape a little bit. So I'm kind of reluctant to start any long-term gaming content because it would make it like this. Which, this is not bad, but I already have this. What's your favorite type of creepypasta slash horror story? I prefer the psychological, like can't find the wall type. Monster ones are okay on occasion, but usually they break the less is more rule. Yeah, you're right. The psychological ones, the ones that blend the psychological and the paranormal, are kind of cool. I like there's one called The Russian Sleep Experiment. Maybe I'll read it. Maybe we'll just do a quick reading of that tonight since the tism is high and the conversation is low. Let me go find The Russian Sleep Experiment. Okay. Let me pull this over here. I'll pull you guys over there. Russian researchers in the late 1940s kept 5 people awake for 15 days using an experimental gas-based stimulant. They were kept in a sealed environment to carefully monitor their oxygen intake so the gas didn't kill them since it was toxic in high concentrations. This was before closed-circuit cameras, so they only had microphones and 5-inch thick glass porthole-sized windows into the chamber to monitor them. The chamber was stocked with books, cots to sleep on, but no bedding, running water and toilet, and enough dried food to last all 5 of the people for over a month. The test subjects were political prisoners deemed enemies of the state during World War II. Everything was fine for the first 5 days. The subjects hardly complained about having been promised falsely that they would be freed if they submitted to the test and did not sleep for 30 days. Their conversations and activities were monitored, and it was noted that they continued to talk about increasingly traumatic incidents in their past, and the general tone of their conversations took on a darker aspect after the 4-day mark. After 5 days, they started to complain about the circumstances and events that led them to where they were and started to demonstrate severe paranoia. They stopped talking to each other. They began alternately whispering to the microphones and one-way mirrored portholes. Oddly, they all seemed to think they could win the trust of the experimenters by turning over their comrades, the other subjects in captivity with them. At first, the researchers suspected that this was the effect of the gas itself. After 9 days, the first of them started screaming. He ran the length of the chamber, repeatedly yelling at the top of his lungs for 3 hours straight, and he continued attempting to scream, but was only able to produce occasional squeaks. The researchers postulated that he had physically torn his vocal cords. The most surprising thing about this behavior is how the other captives reacted to it, or rather didn't react to it. They just continued whispering to the microphones until the second of the captives started to scream. The 2 non-screaming captives took the books apart, smeared page after page with their own feces, and then pasted them calmly over the glass portholes. The screaming promptly stopped, and so did the whispering into the microphones. After 3 more days passed, the researchers checked the microphones hourly to make sure that they were working, since they thought it was impossible that no sound could be coming with 5 people inside. The oxygen consumption in the chamber indicated that all 5 were still alive. In fact, it was the amount of oxygen 5 people would consume at a very heavy level of strenuous exercise. On the morning of the 14th day, the researchers did something that they said they would not do to get a reaction from the captives. They used the intercom inside the chamber, hoping to provoke any response from the captives. They were afraid were either dead or vegetables. They announced, "We are opening the chamber to test the microphones. Step away from the door and lie flat on the floor, or you will be shot. Compliance will earn one of you immediate freedom." To their surprise, they heard a single phrase in a calm voice respond, "We no longer want to be freed." Debate broke out amongst the researchers and military forces funding the research. Unable to provoke any more response using the intercom, it was finally decided that they would open the chamber at midnight on the 15th day. The chamber was flushed of the stimulant gas and filled with fresh air, and immediately voices from the microphones began to object. 3 different voices began begging, as if pleading for the lives of their loved ones, to turn the gas back on. The chamber was opened, and soldiers sent in to retrieve the test subjects. They began to scream louder than ever, and so did the soldiers when they saw what was inside. 4 of the 5 subjects were still alive, although no one could rightly call the state that any of them was in life. The food rations past day 5 had not so much as been touched. There were chunks of meat from the dead test subject's thighs and chest stuffed into the drain in the center of the chamber, blocking the drain and allowing 4 inches of water to accumulate on the floor. Precisely how much of the water on the floor was actually blood was never determined, but all 4 surviving test subjects also had large portions of muscle and skin torn away from their bodies. The destruction of flesh and exposed bone on their fingertips indicated that the wounds were inflicted by hand, not with teeth, as the researchers initially thought. Closer examination of the position and angle of the wounds indicated that most, if not all of them, were self-inflicted. The abdominal organs below the rib cage of all 4 test subjects had been removed, while the heart, lungs, and diaphragm remained in place. The skin and most of the muscles attached to the ribs had been ripped off, exposing the lungs through the rib cage. All the blood vessels and organs remained intact. They'd just been taken out and laid on the floor, fanning out around the eviscerated but still living bodies of the subjects. The digestive tract of all 4 could be seen to be working, digesting food. It quickly became apparent that they were digesting their own flesh that they had ripped off and eaten over the course of days. Most of the soldiers were Russian special operatives at the facility, but still many refused to return to the chamber to remove the test subjects. They continued to scream to be left in the chamber and alternately begged and demanded that the gas be turned back on lest they all fall asleep. To everyone's surprise, the test subjects put up a fierce fight in the process of being removed from the chamber. One of the Russian soldiers died from having his throat ripped out. Another was gravely injured by having his testicles ripped off, and an artery in his leg severed by one of the subject's teeth. Another 5 of the soldiers lost their lives, if you count ones that committed suicide in the weeks following the incident. In the struggle, one of the 4 living subjects had his spleen ruptured and bled out almost immediately. The medical researchers attempted to sedate him, but this proved impossible. He was injected with more than 10 times the human dose of a morphine derivative and still fought like a cornered animal, breaking the ribs and arm of one doctor. When his heart was seen to beat for a full 2 minutes after he had bled out, to the point that there was more air in his vascular system than blood. Even after it stopped, he continued to scream and flail for another 3 minutes, struggling to attack anyone in reach, and just repeating the word "more" over and over, weaker and weaker, until he finally fell silent. The surviving 3 test subjects were heavily restrained and moved to the medical facility. The 2 with intact vocal cords continuously begging for the gas, demanding to be kept awake. The most injured of the 3 was taken to the only surgical operating room that the facility had. In the process of preparing the subject to have his organs placed back within his body, it was found that he was effectively immune to the sedative they had given him to prepare him for the surgery. He fought furiously against his restraints when the anesthetic gas was brought over to put him under. He managed to tear most of the way through a 4-inch wide leather strap on one wrist, even though the weight of a 200-pound soldier holding that wrist down as well. It took only a little more anesthetic than normal to put him under, and the instant his eyelids fluttered and closed, his heart stopped. In the autopsy of the test subject that died on the operating table, it was found that his blood had triple the normal level of oxygen. His muscles that were still attached to his skeleton were badly torn, and he'd broken 9 bones in his struggle not to be subdued. Most of them were from the force of his own muscles. The second survivor had been the first of the group of the 5 to start screaming. His vocal cords were destroyed, and he was unable to beg or object to surgery, and he only reacted by shaking his head violently in disapproval when the anesthetic gas was brought near him. He shook his head yes when someone suggested reluctantly that they try the surgery without anesthetic, and did not react for the entire 6-hour procedure of replacing his abdominal organs and attempting to cover them with what remained of his skin. The surgeon presiding stated repeatedly that it should be medically impossible for the patient to still be alive. One terrified nurse assisting the surgery stated that she had seen the patient's mouth curl into a smile several times whenever his eyes met hers. When the surgery ended, the subject looked at the surgeon and began to wheeze loudly, attempting to talk while struggling. Assuming this must be something drastic importance, the surgeon had a pen and a pad fetched so the patient could write his message. It was simple. Keep cutting. The other 2 test subjects were given the same surgery, both without anesthetic as well, although they had to be injected with a paralytic for the duration of the operation. The surgeon found it impossible to perform the operation while the patients laughed continuously. Once paralyzed, the subjects could only follow the attending researchers with their eyes. The paralytic cleared their system in an abnormally short period of time, and they were soon trying to escape their bonds. The moment they could speak, they were again asking for the stimulant gas. The researchers tried asking why they had injured themselves, why they had ripped out their own guts, and why they wanted to be given the gas again. Only one response was given: I must remain awake. All 3 of the subjects' restraints were reinforced, and they were placed back into the chamber awaiting determination as to what should be done with them. The researchers, facing the wrath of their military benefactors for having failed the stated goals of their project, considered euthanizing the surviving subjects. The commanding officer, an ex-KGB, instead saw potential, wanted to see what would happen if they just put back on the gas. The researchers strongly objected, but were overruled. In preparation for being sealed in the chamber again, the subjects were connected to an EEG monitor and had their restraints padded for long-term confinement. To everyone's surprise, all 3 stopped struggling the moment it was let slip that they were getting back on the gas. It was obvious that at this point, the 3 were just putting up a great struggle to stay awake. One of the subjects that could speak was humming loudly and continuously. The mute subject was straining his legs against the leather bonds with all his might, first the left, then the right, then the left again for anything to focus on. The remaining subject was holding his head off his pillow and blinking rapidly. Having been the first to be wired for EEG, most of the researchers were monitoring his brainwaves in surprise. They were normal most of the time, but sometimes flatlined inexplicably. It looked as if he were repeatedly suffering brain death before returning to normal. As they focused on paper scrolling out of the brainwave monitor, only one nurse saw his eyes slip shut at the same moment his head hit the pillow. His brainwaves immediately changed to that of deep sleep, then flatlined for the last time, and his heart simultaneously stopped. The only remaining subject that could speak started screaming to be sealed in now. His brainwaves showed the same flat lines as the one who just died from falling asleep. The commander gave the order to seal the chamber with both subjects inside, as well as 3 researchers. One of the named 3 immediately drew his gun and shot the commander point blank between the eyes. Then turned the gun on the mute subject and blew his brains out as well. He pointed his gun at the remaining subject, still restrained to the bed, as the remaining members of the medical and research team fled the room. I won't be locked in here with these things. Not with you, he screamed at the man strapped to the table. What are you? He demanded. I must know. The subject smiled. Have you forgotten so easily? The subject asked. We are you. We're the madness that lurks within all of you, begging to be free at every moment in your deepest animal mind. We're what you hide from in your beds every night. We are what you sedate into silence and paralysis when you go to the nocturnal haven where we cannot tread. So the researcher paused, then aimed at the subject's heart and fired. The EEG flatlined as the subject weakly choked out, "So nearly free." Wow. Spooky dooky, dude. That one's kind of like psychological body horror, right? Either way, it's pretty spooky. Thanks for the story. Can you tuck me in? No, can't tuck you in, but provide the story. I don't know how you fall asleep to these. They give me, yeah, see, I don't know. Oh, thanks, Ecliptic Gamer. 10 out of 10, huh? I don't know if it was a 10 out of 10, but I appreciate the love, my friend. You don't get the ending. So at the end, the commandant overseeing the experiment, right, wants to seal more people in there and decides he's going to use some of the researchers and doctors and shit. And one of those guys is like, "Fuck you," pulls his gun, kills the dude, and puts the other ones out of their misery. But are you talking about the very ending? So nearly free? I don't know. I think that the idea behind that one, like, I think it's like maybe he was about to transcend into something else, right? Like the idea that he died or fell asleep for the final time just before he was about to transcend what he was and become something else. And, you know, the twist ending, the cliffhanger ending is like, what was he going to become? The micro demon. Wait, though, 4 were still alive when they opened the chamber. 1 died in the struggle, 1 died in surgery, which should have left 2. But there were 3 left, unless I miscount. No. There were only 2 at the end. Because one of them died in... Yeah, so wait a minute. Hold on. 4... Yeah, one died before they opened the thing. There were 4 left. 1 died in that struggle. There were 3. 1 died on the operating table. There were 2. 1 that could speak and 1 that couldn't. And then those 2 were sealed back in the chamber. Or, yeah. So that's right. One died on the field trip to Seattle. Yeah, and a partridge in a pear tree. Do another? Nah. This has been a pretty long stream, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap things up now. Thank you guys always for being the Tismos that you are, but also providing some good conversation and just chilling and hanging out. Really appreciate it. Have a good night, and I'll catch you guys next time.